What's going on, guys? Conscious One coming at you. So I've been waiting to do this for a while. I've been looking forward to it. This is the narration I'm going to do of the Yuri Biznavov video. Excuse me, guys, if I sound sometimes takes me a little while to reach my point, because I am doing this raw. I'm not rehearsing this. The only thing I'm rehearsing is to make sure, I got on some clean clothes before I push play. But anyway, yeah, y'all know how I do it, man. Just like to, keep it raw, keep it real as best as I possibly can. This video, I played this on my YouTube channel several times and talked about it several times, but this is the stuff that I really want you guys to pay attention to is the stuff that I narrate. So I just decided to start narrating stuff because I know people don't got time. And I know people, can't listen to certain voices. People can't really listen, like sometimes, like they'll listen if I say it, or maybe Net Most Wanted say it. They'll listen if you say it, but they won't actually listen if the other person is saying, because maybe the person has an accent. They don't really want to listen to their voice for a half an hour long. I can understand all that. But anyway, guys, let's get to this, all right? Let me see, make sure I got time on this. Yeah, I got time. Yeah, let's go ahead and get to this. We're going to play this, and then I'm just going to try to just chime in and narrate when I feel suitable to do so. It's just so amazing that this guy knew what was coming at a time where everybody was like, yo, the American economy is good. The middle class is thriving. You have people investing in real estate. You have people buying homes, young people too. You have people retiring after working, for 20, 30 years at one company. And during this, and this was the time that this guy said he started seeing the ball get rolling with the whole Marxist-Leninist thing. But, as a young person, that was being pumped in our minds that stuff was from the past. Like, if you was talking about some Russian KGB stuff in the early 1980s America, people would have thought you was insane. They wouldn't want to talk to you. What are you talking about? Everything is cool. The middle class is thriving. I'm buying my second house. My daughter's investing in real estate. My pension is good. What the hell are you talking about? Get away from me. But yet this guy, St. Yuri Biznavov, seen the whole thing coming when he arrived in the late 70s. A time where everybody was just chilling. Everything just seemed wonderful. Same thing with Elijah Muhammad, though. His words prove more true today, now more than ever. But anyway, guys, let's get to it. This is a 30-minute Yuri Biznavov video. And I'm gonna narrate it, so it's probably gonna take about 20 minutes. But let's go ahead and get to this.
Times before about ideological subversion. That is a phrase that I'm afraid some Americans don't fully understand. When the Soviets use the phrase ideological subversion, what do they mean by it?
Ideological subversion is the process which is legitimate, overt, and open. You can see it with your own eyes. All you have to do, all American mass media has to do, is to unplug their bananas from their ears, open up their eyes, and they can see it. There's no mystery. There's nothing to do with espionage. I know that espionage intelligence gathering looks more romantic. It sells more deodorants through the advertising, probably. That's why your Hollywood producers are so crazy about James Bond type of thrillers. But in reality, the main emphasis of the KGB is not in...
And see, that's what I was saying. Like, a lot of people are expecting a lot of things to blow up. It's, people, things are going to blow up here and there, but it's not going to be like the movies. So if you were talking about, if you was talking about a little bit about what this guy was talking about in the early 80s, they would have been saying, you watching too many James Bond movies. Snap out of it.
The area of intelligence at all. According to my opinion and opinion of many defectors of my caliber, only about 15% of time, money, and manpower is spent on espionage as such. The other 85% is a slow process which we call either ideological subversion or active measures, активные мероприятия in the language of the KGB, or psychological warfare. What it basically means is to change the perception of reality of every American to such an extent that despite of the abundance of information, no one is able to come to sensible conclusions in the interests of defending themselves, their families, their community, and their country. It's a great brainwashing process which goes very slow, and it's divided in 4 basic stages.
Nobody's able to come up with any sensible conclusions to protect themselves and their families, because, you know, everybody's like narcissistic, man. But this is what the Bible talked about: people love themselves in the last days. So don't get it twisted. Yeah, you're supposed to love yourself, but people, they're too far gone, man, into narcissism in this country. We all know America is the most narcissistic place on the planet, man. And this is why no one's able to, you're not even able to defend your own household, because everybody's just got their head up their ass.
First one being demoralization. It takes from 15 to 20 years to demoralize a nation. Why that many years? Because this is the minimum number of years which requires to educate one generation of students in the country of your enemy, exposed to the ideology of the enemy. In other words, Marxism-Leninism ideology is being pumped into the soft heads of at least 3 generations of American students without being challenged or counterbalanced by the basic values of Americanism, American patriotism. The result you can see. Most of the people who graduated in the 60s, dropouts or half-baked intellectuals, are now occupying the positions of power in the government, civil service, business, mass media, educational system. You are stuck with them. You cannot get rid of them. They are contaminated. They are.
Now, you know, this guy just predicted Barack Obama. I hope y'all know that. Half-baked intellectuals, how you gonna be stuck with them? You're not gonna be able to get rid of them. That's talking about. That reminds me of this man just predicted Obama.
Programmed to think and react to certain stimuli in a certain pattern. You cannot change their mind, even if you expose them to authentic information, even if you prove that white is white and black is black, you still cannot change the basic perception and the logic of behavior. In other words, these people, the process of demoralization is complete and irreversible. To get rid society of these people, you need another 20 or 15 years to educate a new generation of patriotically minded and common sense people who would be acting in favor and in the interests of the United States society.
This kind of reminded me of White Nile's channel. I'm glad to see her back. She was talking, she did this video. She was talking about this guy who said, "What kind of American are you?" I just heard that today, and I actually want to narrate that video, but I'm gonna get around to that in the next couple of days, because that's just the first thing I thought about when I seen that video. What kind of American are you? Is this what he just said? But let's and again, this whole demoralized thing. You know, a demoralized person, you can't prove to a person who's demoralized what's white and what's black and what's this one. When you demoralize, you lack morals. Basically, God is giving you over to a reprobate mind.
And yet these people who've been programmed and, as you say, in place, and who are favorable to an opening with the Soviet concept, these are the very people who would be marked for extermination in this country?
Most of them, yes. Simply because the psychological shock when they will see in future what the beautiful society of equality and social justice means in practice.
So again, all the LGBTQ and all the Black Lives Matter and Antifa, all these people who think that, you know, it's all about love and light and freedom, and they're allowing them to have just a great time right now. But these are the same people that are marked for extermination. So they think that it's party time now. We get to do whatever we want. But actually, they're like being like, it's like they're wood being in a barbecue grill, and you just pouring that like lighter fluid on it, and sooner or later somebody's just gonna come and throw a match in it. They think everything is good. They think this is wonderful. They've been given all this. You know, I told y'all, man, I go in these gay areas in Chicago, Boys Town, and it's somehow I feel like George, they must have got funded by George Soros or something, because these people seem to have unlimited funding because they're having too much fun. You don't have that much fun when you got to work 5, 6 days a week. I don't give a damn who you is. I said these people are being funded. I don't even think they're being paid. We all know Soros. He can create a whole community of people that can be thriving, and just to demoralize a nation, he can send in a bunch of people, and they living for free while you going to work every day. That's what it seems like was happening. Not just LGBTQ, but Black Lives Matter, and see anybody that's supporting the agenda of what Yuri Biznevov is mentioning here about the Soviet. How do you say? This is Soviet model of thinking, but these people they're like being led to their slaughter, and they don't even know it.
Obviously, they will revolt. They will.
They think it's about equality, but when they finally see what equality really is about, then they're gonna revolt, and then that's when they just gonna throw that match in a barbecue grill with the wood with that lighter fluid on it.
They will be very unhappy, frustrated people, and the Marxist-Leninist regime does not tolerate these people. They will join the links of dissenters, dissidents.
So the same people that they probably voted for, who they thought was down with their whole agenda, is the same people that's going to throw that match in the barbecue grill and set them on fire once they see what they really signed up for.
Unlike in present United States, there will be no place for dissent in future Marxist-Leninist America. Here you can get popular like Daniel Ellsberg and filthy rich like Jane Fonda for being dissident, for criticizing your Pentagon. In future, these people will be simply squashed like cockroaches. Nobody is going to pay them nothing for their beautiful, noble ideas of equality. This they don't understand, and it will be the greatest shock for them, of course. The demoralization process in the United States is basically completed already.
That kind of reminded me of a situation with Anne Haith. Y'all remember that situation, the lady that made the movie Toxic Skies, and then they showed her in a body bag where it almost looked like she was trying to unzip the body bag, but they was putting. We know that's BS. That whole thing was a skit and BS. Whether she's really dead or not, who cares? But regardless, they have to make an example. They made an example saying, well, if you this type of person speak against the agenda, you're gonna end up in a body bag. You know what I'm saying? That's basically what he just said. Before it was cool to stand up against your government, and you mentioned James Fonda. It used to be cool. They made movies about this stuff, but again, you like being fattened for the kill. Keep doing that, and then they're gonna be ready. Then they're gonna know who everybody is and where they're in place at, and then they can come in and squash you it's like a cockroach trap. They can come in and squash you like a cockroach.
For the last 25 years, actually it's overfulfilled, because demoralization now reaches such areas where previously not even Comrade Andropov and all his experts would even dream of such a tremendous success. Most of it is done by Americans to Americans.
Yeah, everybody always talking about what the government gonna do, what the powers that be gonna do. That's why I don't like when people keep saying that, man. What the powers that it keeps talking about the powers that be. It's gonna be your own neighbor who gonna be turning you over. It's gonna be your own neighbor that's gonna be doing you in. While the so-called powers that be watch you from the cameras. The powers that be actually don't have no power. The power's in the people, and the people, what they're gonna do is get the people to turn on each other. Just like you just said, it's gonna be Americans doing it to other Americans. Didn't say nothing about no government coming in and taking you off to a concentration camp.
Lack of moral standards, as I mentioned before, exposure to
lack of moral standards. Well, how did it get like that? Well, people, I don't know, years and decades of watching, I guess, horror movies and thriller movies and things blowing up. Everybody's totally desensitized to violence, so that when they actually jump off, video games, I see people driving through McDonald's parking lots at 40 miles per hour where there's barely no space. It just seems like people are driving around like they really don't value human life no more. Not their own or anybody else's.
True information does not matter anymore. A person who was demoralized is unable to assess true information.
Yep.
The facts tell nothing to
Mean
him.
nothing to him.
Even
You
if
see?
I shower him with information, with authentic proof, with documents, with pictures, even if I take him by force to the Soviet Union and show him concentration camp, he will refuse to believe it until he is going to receive a kick in his fat bottom. When a military boot crashes then he will understand, but not before that. That's the tragic of the situation of the.
It's funny, they cut out the word balls. That's what he said. You know, so a person who's demoralized is unable to assess facts. You can take this person, you can grab them by the ear, drag them, show them concentration camps. It won't sink in, guys. And to me, that's somebody that's given over to a reprobate mind. You know, we've been talking about this parasite stuff, and you know, the pharmaceutical drugs. We know that's sorcery, and all kind of drugs people taking that's allowing demons to enter their body. This new marijuana that they're selling at the store, we really don't know what that is. I heard that it's a cocaine molecule in it or something like that. But the people I see going about this stuff, they don't look right in the head. They don't look right in the head. I used to smoke that stuff a little bit when I was younger, but I don't even like that stuff anymore, guys. Something ain't right about that stuff they selling in their shops. No, something wrong with that stuff, for real. But anyway, a person who's demoralized, guys, and I really pondered over this. I meditated about this a couple of nights ago. I said, what does it mean that a person that cannot assess facts is demoralized? It means they have no morals. And I'm just thinking, how could somebody get like that? How could somebody get so demoralized, whereas you don't even care what the truth is anymore? Yeah, because if you don't care what the facts are about I don't care what you're talking about. What are you talking about? Whether McDonald's fries is better? Well, no, that's an opinion. That's subjective. But I'm saying, like, okay, was it a scamdemic or was it real? If somebody has already went along and believed that it was real, and that person refuses to face the facts that they may have been fooled, that's a demoralized individual. They have no morals, because a moral person searches for truth in all areas. A moral person admits their mistakes when they're wrong.
Demoralization. So basically, America is stuck with demoralization, and even if you start right now, here, this minute, you start educating new generation of Americans, it will still take you 15 to 20 years to turn the tide of ideological perception of reality back to normalcy and patriotism. The next stage is destabilization. This time, subverter does not care about your ideas and the patterns of your consumption. Whether you eat junk food and get fat and flabby, it doesn't matter anymore.
Yep.
This time, and it takes only from 2 to 5 years to destabilize a nation. What matters is essentials: economy, foreign relations, defense systems.
Where do we hear that word from before? Essentials. This is the early 80s, and this guy is talking about essentials and non-essentials. Oh my God. And no, they don't care about you getting fat and flabby anymore. That's why people can order, you can get any type of food you want. That's why I'm making money. You can get anything you want. Now, Wendy's got this new burger called the Baconator. It's like 2 or 3 patty slices with some bunch of cheese and a bunch of bacon on it. I ain't gonna lie, that must look good. I was actually tempted to buy it myself. I said, I ain't messing with that junk. No, I'm not messing with that. I don't mess with no bacon, and I don't mess with none of that junk, man. I am interested in going downtown though and eating a burger on a pretzel bun at a famous steakhouse that I know down there. Because burgers do taste good on a steak bun. On a pretzel bun. I ain't even gonna lie. But anyway, yeah, I said once before, you used to have to go to bed at 11 p.m. and if you wanted to eat, you had to hide the snacks, like, away from your wife or whoever or your parents, Because if you was caught eating after a certain time, that was like despicable. I mean, even if you was a man and your wife, if she caught you eating after midnight, it was like, like you can't do, like it was, now everything goes. It's like Ghostbusters, you know, Slimer. Y'all heard about that green slime in New York recently? You know, Ghostbusters, busting loose. You know, and then I remember those trading cards called the Garbage Pail Kids. It was just, I guess that was showing you what Americans is going to turn into. Got a bunch of Garbage Pail Kids walking around, guys, eating all day long, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, eating sausage pizza. I don't even know how these people can put that grease in their stomach at that time. So now it's Aleister Crowley, do as thy will, anything goes.
And you can see it quite clearly that in some areas, in such sensitive areas as defense and economy, the influence of Marxist-Leninist ideas in the United States is absolutely fantastic. I could never believe it 14 years ago when I landed in this part of the world that the process will go that fast. The next stage, of course, is crisis. It may take only up to 6 weeks to bring a country to the verge of crisis. You can see it in Central America now. And after crisis, with a violent change of power, structure, and economy, you have so-called the period of normalization. It may last indefinitely.
The new normal.
Normalization is a cynical expression borrowed from Soviet propaganda. When the Soviet tanks...
It's like everything this country did, they got from this guy. Normalization, the new normal. We've heard all this stuff. Tucker Carlson
moved into Czechoslovakia in '68. Comrade Brezhnev said, now the situation in brotherly Czechoslovakia is normalized. This is what will happen in the United States if you allow all these schmucks to bring the country to crisis, to promise people all kind of goodies and the paradise on earth, to destabilize your economy, to eliminate the principle of free market competition, and to put a big brother government in Washington, D.C., with benevolent dictators like Walter Mondale, who will promise lots of things, never mind whether the promises are fulfillable or not. He will go to Moscow to kiss the bottoms of new generation of Soviet assassins, never mind. He will create false illusions that the situation is under control. Situation is not under control. Situation is disgustingly out of control. Most of the American politicians, media, and educational system trains another generation of people who think they are living at a peacetime. False. The United States is in the state of war. Undeclared total war against the basic...
And if this guy was saying this in the early 80s, guys, where are we right now here in 2024? What is this we living in now? This man was saying this when everything seemed wonderful, seemed great. You had opportunities. You could quit your job and have a job, to get another job in the very next day. Everything seemed wonderful. This is amazing.
Principles and the foundations of this system. And the initiator of this war is not Comrade Andropov, of course. It's the system. However ridiculous it may sound, the world communist system or the world communist conspiracy, whether I scare some people or not, I don't give a hoot. If you are not scared by now, nothing can scare you. But you don't have to be paranoid about it. What actually happens now, that unlike myself, you have literally several years to live on unless the United States wake up. The time bomb is ticking. With every second, the disaster is coming closer and closer. Unlike myself, you will have nowhere to defect to, unless you want to live in Antarctica with penguins. This is it. This is the last country of freedom and possibility.
Okay, so what do we do? What is your recommendation to the American people?
Well, the immediate thing that comes to my mind is, of course, there must be a very strong national effort to educate people in the spirit of...
I'm just going to stop it right there, guys. I'll leave the video and the link. He knows we done. You see how he stuttered. He gave that long speech, then he's like, what can we do? He's like he wanted to say nothing. Nothing you can do. It's already prophesied to all come down. Babylon is falling. Oh my God. It's just so funny the way he stuttered. Now he's talking in false pretenses. Now he know that that's not going to happen. It's not going to change. Okay, it's not going to change. But so I just decided to stop it right there, y'all. Yeah, so anyway, y'all, let me go ahead and upload this. I hope y'all enjoyed that. Just think about it, though, man. If he was saying that in the early 80s, guys, where are we? 40? That was for almost what? That was 40 years ago. Over 40 years ago when he made this speech. Oh my God, man! I tell y'all, boy. Anyway, y'all. Yeah, I want to narrate Why Now, one of her videos, since she's back. I'll probably do that. Look for that in the next couple of days, as well as we're gonna narrate Bobby Hemmett talking about when he, in the late 90s video he made, talking about all the black people have been cloned after the messenger had left us in 1975. That's when they started the cloning process. So I really want to get to that, guy, so we can narrate that. Y'all know I'm looking forward to that. And I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.